ShockCast episode 189, and taking me up on my challenge after making his full heel turn and jumping ship to the Coalition. Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Polanco has somehow wandered onto the ShockCast. Don't know how he got here. He came off. He was a bus. He came off the bus and says, "I'm ready." Steel chair in hand, and he's ready to rumble. And also,
yes, I am. How you guys doing?
How did Tony get here? Go away. I was like,
wait, hold on. Tony's back?
Oh no! Is that what we're missing? Is that the kind of hijinks going on the Throwdown podcast?
Yeah, pretty much. Except I don't do the sound effects. Everybody else does. Like, okay, guys, go nuts. Yeah, thank you for having me on. I was supposed to be on like a couple weeks ago, but Destiny. Do I need to explain anymore?
Yeah, that happened. I wanted to get you for your Destiny expertise because me and you were playing a lot of Destiny together, and then eventually we were just like, I think we'd just rather play Destiny than podcasts, which is like totally fine. And yeah. I've been teasing a special guest for weeks now, and it is not Tony. My special guest canceled, so I got Tony instead as a backup. You are a perfect backup special guest, Tony.
Tony was the B team. For this,
yeah, that's the story of my life, basically.
Hey, you know what? A good utility player is the backbone of any solid baseball team. So yeah, Tony's a reserve, yeah, but yeah, you can count on him.
So you're saying the bench warmers are like the most important part of the baseball team that is the ShockCast, Tony or George.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm supposed to make of that, but I'm happy to be here.
Tony, how you been? How's life over at the Coalition?
Oh, it's going great, man. Got a lot of good things coming. We're preparing for Comic-Con, as I'm sure you guys are. We got 3 of us going. And yeah, it's going good. Like, you know, there's a little bit of work that we have ahead of us because, I mean, the site's already been going really well after E3, but I've started implementing some ideas. They made me the fancy executive editor, so I'm doing a lot of like background stuff. Then it is like I'm not in the foreground too much. I'm just there doing my podcast and just doing things behind the scenes. And yeah, it's going really well. I like the site. Everybody gets along. They're mostly British guys, which is really funny because they speak crazy slang that I don't get half the time.
So it's like, oh, you cockney.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, oh, do you fancy her? I'm like, fancy? Oh, you mean like, yeah, I like her. You know, it's little things like that, you know, or bullets and things like that.
Have you gotten fish and chips yet? Just is that that's the most important thing to me. So.
No, well, these guys are like in actual England and stuff, so none of that yet. So, and by the way, I told
realsies England, all right?
Yeah, not the fake England. I told this to George. I actually issued a drinking challenge to these guys. Then I realized they're British guys. They're probably gonna destroy me. And Ryan, you know how hard I could drink, but these guys are gonna make me look like a pansy.
Yeah. Tony's a pansy. Yep. Anyway, Ryan, already Tony's here and the whole podcast is just fucking derailed, and I'm like, fine, you know what, I'm just gonna run with it. Ryan, we have new releases. Do that.
Oh, we do. Hold on, I'm bringing it up. Just give me like 2 seconds. And okay. So it's October 1st, everyone. So happy October, and September is now gone. Long live September. Anyway, as I stall so I can get the releases up. Okay, so I've got the releases for September 28th to October 5th, 2014. Not 2015 or 2016, mind you. 2014.
Thanks for clarification.
The year of our Lord Sauron.
Yeah, the year of our Lord Sauron and all that good jazz. So we've got Outland for PC, Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. I wonder what game everyone's going to pick this week. Short Piece, Renko Tsukimi's Longest Day for PS3, the typical Japanese game of the week that I can't pronounce. Persona 4 Arena Ultimax for PS3, 360, and PS3 and 360. Forza Horizon 2 for Xbox One and Xbox 360. Natural Doctrine for PS3, PS4, and PS Vita. Got those. Chariot for PS4 and Xbox One. Pure Solar and the Great Architects for PS4, PS3, Ouya, and PC. See, look, an Ouya game came out this week, so you know it's a good week.
Start.
Invisibles: The Lost Kingdom for PS3, Invisibles: The Alliance for PSN. 2 Invisible games out this week. It's pretty impressive. Futuridium EP Deluxe for PS4 and PS Vita. Probably the most indie title indie game name I can think of for this week. Falling Skies, the game for PS3. Oh god. Okay, so we've got Namco Museum Volume 1, Namco Museum Volume 2, Namco Museum Volume 3, Namco Museum Volume 4, and Namco Museum Volume 5, all on PS3. They had to list all of those individually.
Well, each
as
cover
separate
has
games.
one letter of Namco each, so 5 versions of
Yes.
And this is A, this is M, this is I'm like,
Yep.
Wow.
I had to say all 5 of those. So anyway, so we've got Sherlock Holmes, Crimes and Punishments for PS4 and PS3, Second Chance Heroes for PS4, The Incredibles, PS2 Classic for PS3, Pokemon Trading Card Game Online for iPad, Borderlands 2 for Linux, Plat Dude and a Bit of a Spin for Ouya, Brow, and PC. Okay, I take that back. That's the most indie game name for the week. Castlevania Dracula X for Wii U, and then drum roll, please, everyone. Drum roll.
Oh,
Drum
I
roll?
fell off, didn't I?
Drum roll. Okay, there we go. Super Smash Brothers for Nintendo 3DS on Wii U. Sorry, I mean 3DS. So.
What the hell is going on?
Yeah. I had to give that one a little bit of a dramatic entrance because you know Smash Brothers. So.
Evidently, yeah.
Gee, I wonder what you're gonna pick, Ryan.
All right, I'm going with Shadow of Mordor.
Oh,
Me
and
too,
Tony,
goddammit.
I was gonna say Tony's pick got picked. I'm actually gonna go with The Incredibles PS2. No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna go with Super Smash Brothers for 3DS because it's Smash Brothers and I can't pick anything else. So
yeah, we already spoke at length about your experience with Smash Brothers. Now that we're a week later, Ryan, I will give you 10 seconds, 5 and 5, to tell me your thoughts on Super Smash Brothers, because we spent a good half hour to 45 minutes just hearing you talk about Link and Cartoon Link, and then you could super uppercut punch with Max. So yeah, I'm gonna go get some water. I will give you 10 seconds. I will be counting out secretly and then out loud. So go. 10 seconds starting now. Go.
So Super Smash Brothers is the best game ever. Better than Destiny. Better than Shadow of Mordor. Better than Watch Dogs.
It's better than
Titanfall.
life.
Better than everything. It is better than Ocarina of Time. It is better than Grand Theft Auto 5. And okay.
I heard better than Watch Dogs, and I could not agree more. But at this rate, anything could be better than Watch Dogs.
Ryan named pretty much every single game that was ever made in the entire universe, and this game beats it all, according to him. I can't argue with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't play Smash Bros.
No, but anyway, to briefly wrap up, so since the last time we talked about Smash Brothers, my review went up on the game last Friday, and I gave it a 9 out of 10 for the score.
Magnum opus, man. That was a long read, dude. You can
that was my longest review I've ever done. It came in at 2,500 words, so it was a beast.
Fucking Christ.
Yep.
Nice.
No worries. Let me see if I can pull a box quote from Ryan's review here. Just real quick. Normally, when we talk about reviews, we'll get there, but I want to...
I don't think I can get a better box quote than better than Watch Dogs. That's the box quote right there. So,
as a love letter to Nintendo fans, Super Smash Bros. Bro for 3DS brings together the best of gaming into one of the best 3DS games available. And although the portable title may be a warm-up for this holiday's Wii U version, it will not be hard jumping back in for a few more practice rounds than the 3DS. 9 out of 10. Right. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Okay, so enough of Ryan's nonsense.
I'm just gonna go for another half hour and be like, yo, the villager, his smash attacks are the best. And, like,
the villager's so OP. I can't play villager. So yeah,
actually, it's okay because I don't like villager very much. But anyway, so
I gave Ryan his allotted time to talk about Smash Bros. Because the only time of year Ryan can talk. So it's only anything about Smash Bros. I'm like, I'll just defer to him and just kind of disappear, not care. Okay. But big reason why Tony's here, because me and him are playing the same game, and we both love it. That's weird. We both agree on something.
How's that possible?
Middle Earth, Shadow of Mordor came out, and holy crap, it might be the best game I played all year. It's up there. I'm gonna give it a top 5.
I was gonna say seeing the reviews that have come out so far, it's been shocking of how like good the reviews are and stuff. Like, not that like it looked interesting and stuff, but like it just really is surprising to see like how like people are loving this game. And like
I've never seen so many people on the same page about a game in my life. Like everyone's just like, oh yeah, it's fucking great. Like even Last of Us, you get a couple of outliers like, yeah, it's okay and it's fine.
Yeah.
I can see their argument. And it's fine. But everyone universally is just like, Shadow Mordor, amazing. Like fuck it, just throw your hands up.
I was to say,
Right?
like, I know,
Yeah.
like, it's gotten a lot of comparisons to Batman. And the last time I could really remember something like that is like when Arkham Asylum came out, and like
Yeah.
everyone really loved it. And so I can kind of see a lot of that like between the two games. So
Yeah, it is Batman-esque. It is also Assassin's Creed-esque. You know, it's not the most original game. I feel like it stole very good things from very good games, if it works, it's fine for me.
yeah.
You know what, Tony, you're the guest. I'm gonna let you could rap about it. What's sticking out the most in Shadow of Mordor? Because the interesting thing about this game is that there literally is so much to talk about because there are so many interesting aspects about this game that actually all work, which is I think I'm more surprised that almost everything works in this game. Tony, go.
Yeah, it's a few things. Okay, first of all, the reason it's like Assassin's Creed is because one of the programmers, he worked on this series and he literally put code from Assassin's Creed 2 into this game. This is not a rumor; it's true. It happened, and they're like, "Hey, you know what? It works. Whatever. There's enough different things in this game that doesn't matter."
See, it's funny you mentioned a rumor because another rumor I heard that this was a template for a Batman game that never came out.
Ooh, okay, that is interesting right there.
And they
Um,
literally were sitting on this weird tech, like this Nemesis system, and blah blah blah. And they were like, "Hey, let's see if we can get the Lord of the Rings things going on." So there was a big thing with the Tolkien estate where they had to get a bunch of stuff approved, and the type of gameplay, and then they all kind of came together in this weird fantasy marriage. But yeah,
yeah.
keep going. I just interrupted you for no reason. Go.
Yeah, it's no problem, man. So yeah, this game's been in development for a few years, and like, okay, when I first heard about it, I'm like, licensed game, whatever. You know, this is gonna be another one of these. I've never played a good Lord of the Rings game ever. Then I saw it at E3. It had a demo. This would happen at the demo. They gave us a choice of 5 war chiefs, right? Like, okay, pick one. Everybody in the crowd was like, go for that guy, and the developers were like, he's the hardest guy here. Are you sure you want us to do that? And they're like, yeah, just go for that guy. So we went after this dude, and the developers didn't expect this. They got killed basically, you know. And then we saw all the guys under him become more powerful, and then he became more powerful. And I'm like, that's interesting. I've never seen that in a game before. Now I'm actually playing it hands on. And I'm gonna just go away from the mechanics of it because you're right. If you play Batman, you're gonna be right at home. It plays exactly like it. There's almost no difference whatsoever.
You
The
even
Nemesis-
have a blue detective vision in your Wraith vision, which is essentially
Yeah.
the screen turns blue and highlights interesting stuff in the environment.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I said, I'm like, Batman? But, you know, it works fine. Like the combat is so functional and it feels really visceral and it's great decapitating orcs left and right.
Oh my god, yes,
But-
dude, it never gets old. But yeah, the combat itself, every single mechanic, every single one of them, the way you counter, where you jump over, every
The
single thing is
executions are the
Batman.
same buttons.
They are. It's exactly. It's nuts, man. But yeah,
Execution and takedowns are the exact same buttons. And
Yeah,
it's funny you mentioned
yeah.
and it's funny you mentioned the Nemesis system because that was the most talked about feature that came from E3 and even like, you know, the past press events where we were like, you know, I was one of those people who was like, well, that's kind of like a neat mechanic, but I was a little apprehensive. I was like, well, you know, this will probably be interesting for the first couple of hours, and like any other new kind of cool thing that's introduced, they're not going to get it right the first time. Almost like when Assassin's Creed first came out, it's like, oh, this is a cool like proof of concept, but they didn't quite hit it. I was expecting that same reaction when I kind of got, you know, when I finally got to sit down and deal with the Nemesis system firsthand. And little I know, it's like 6 hours later, and I'm like totally into this Nemesis system. And for the uninitiated, basically what it is in Shadow of Mordor, one of the big plot points, and basically the main thing that you'll be doing is disrupting this orc hierarchy, which basically means at the top there's this 5 war chiefs, then there's 7 captains, and then there's 7 lieutenants, jobbers, and nobodies. And so the idea, what you're trying to do in the first half of the game, because once the second half of the game happens, you get this other element is introduced that just kind of throws everything away, which is amazing. So basically, what you're trying to do is you're just trying to take down these war chiefs by basically what you want to do is, you know, work bottom top approach, where it's just like kill everyone, kill anyone who can be his potential bodyguard. So when you're ready to face that war chief, he's alone, he has no support, and you kick his ass. So at the halfway point, without getting into any spoilers, you get this ability to brand enemies, which basically means you put their hand on their face and you basically brainwash them into fighting for you. So now you're introduced to another new set of orcs in another land. So I wasn't even expecting to go to a different map. But
it's still Mordor, by the way. It's still Mordor.
Yeah, it's still Mordor. It's just another huge section of Mordor that's broken down to like 6 or 7 areas. And then, you know, you get a tower, and then, you know, you could fast travel once you get every tower, like you did in Assassin's Creed. Like I was laughing. I was like, Oh, okay, fine. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I have to climb a tower as the ghost, do that, and okay, I can fast travel. Awesome. So with the branding, so what you have to do now, your new objective is to now all the 5 war chiefs on top have to be people who are under your influence, and there are so many ways that you can go about it. Like you can go the badass way and just find the war chief directly, brand him, and boom, you're done with him. Or you can do what they're kind of encouraging, what they demoed out is take a lowly orc captain, he just got his name, maybe he just killed you, and then he got a promotion for just killing you. You brand him, and then you orchestrate his ascent to the top. And what happens is there's this whole behavioral AI that goes into it where orcs will cause rivalries with other orcs, so you know about like, well, this orc hates this orc, so they're gonna duel it out. So what you can do is go there and whoever's beefing with who, you can kill the opponent, and then now your orc that you've branded just bumps up another spot, and you can kind of do that. And there's so many different ways you can help them on hunts. You can I'm trying to think. My favorite and one new thing that came up was the executions, where it's like if this orc executes these innocent people, he's gonna get a promotion. So normally what I did in the other in the pre-half version was I gotta save all these people. But now since it's my orc, I was like, I'm just gonna let him execute him. He could use the street cred. And so it's this very interesting dynamic of making all these weird power plays. And now I find myself dying on purpose sometimes just to get an orc, to boost up an orc high enough where I can be like, should I brand him or should I just save him for later so I can kill him and get a great rune that I can use to customize my guy. So it's that weird dynamic there that I just absolutely fell in love with. And now that like I'm all about, I'm making Gorham Skull Collector my man. He is I'm all about Skull Collector. He's my boy. He's got a helmet that has a skull on it, and all the orcs are randomly generated. They have their own names. They have their own abilities. They have every time they get promoted, they get new armor. And if they run away, they get scarred. Tony, what's been your most interesting kind of nemesis encounter going on here?
Yeah, I should add that every single thing that's happened to George in this game has not happened to me. That's the beauty of this system. It's completely different for every player. I want to talk about the war chief thing, because what I did was I was like, let me go for a direct approach. I'm going to go to a war chief. I'm going to brand his ass. But the problem is, I could never actually brand a guy. Like, the game wouldn't let me. Like, I would try to do the combat one, and it wouldn't let me do it. And I would just end up like chopping their head off. I'm like, okay, this isn't working. Let me go for the guys under him. So
Tony's just like, fuck it. Just chop off.
Yeah, it's like, I can't do anything. Let me just chop his head off. So I went to the guys under him, and I branded all 3 of them. And I'm like, okay, maybe these guys could help me out somehow. So I'm in the battle, and the guy I did not want to die, he got him. I'm like, oh, god damn it, again with this shit. Then the guy under him got promoted. I'm like, oh, he's branded.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And the best part is this brainwashing is almost like activating a sleeper cell, because one approach they say, like, listen, the war chiefs are going to be too insane to handle, so what you want to do is brand his bodyguard. So they always have 2 bodyguards, so he picks 2 random orcs on his little Insoran's army map. So what you can do is you can brand them, and then once you're ready to fight the war chief, right in the middle of it, you go, okay, go! And then they just turn on him. And any surrounding like lower orcs that you can kind of like the archers, or I like branding berserkers because they seem pretty unstoppable, or the guys with the shields seem to do pretty well. But yeah, it's so weird. I'm just all about that, and I'm just trying to figure out what's the best power play. I'm trying to get maybe the characters with the funniest names I want on top. And there's one who sings. Like, I ran across an orc who he was like, I'm gonna, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. And I just immediately killed him without even thinking about branding him, because I was just like, yeah. I mean, I've made so many enemies in this game of orcs who just keep running away, who I can't ever catch, or orcs who just keep killing me, and then when they kill you, they get stronger and get less weaknesses.
Oh my god, yeah.
And that become almost impossible to kill. And I'm literally sit there when I beheaded Pumbrick, the like skull crusher. I literally just yelled out like, "Fuck you! I got you! Ha!" And his head's just flying around in the air. I'm like, yeah. It's so that combat's so satisfying, and just really surprised about that game.
Yeah, but I really like the orcs that slip away from me, because they remember you. Like one orc, I grabbed him and I threw him in a fire, right? And then I think he ended up killing me. And then when I saw him again, he's like, "Remember when you threw me in that fire, boy? I'm going to kill you for that." Or one guy really messed up. His face is all scarred and stuff. There's those little things. And again, that's all unique to every single player. And like the way you're talking about it now, it's like, oh, I didn't know you could do all this crazy stuff. Like, basically you could like take the lowliest guy. Like, okay, I like this guy because he has a cool name. I'm going to promote him all the way to war chief. Yeah, that is really cool. And here's the thing I want to say about this system. It's actually, and I wrote about this on one of my editorials back in, I forgot if it was March or April for DualShockers. Basically, I said this mechanic seems very next gen to me because the last gen versions of this game don't have it. They have it, but it's very like limited.
It's a limited as to where I think it's only limited to story related moves on there.
Yeah.
In the first half of the game, one of the main story quest chains is you take this one orc and move him up to a war chief. So I think what you do is you only do his battles as opposed to the other war chiefs that you're trying to manipulate on your own. So you may have to it looks like it's going to be very limited as far as like the branding is, because I don't know if this is maybe a memory issue that maybe just the newer systems can handle all this extra thinking that your system's doing in the background.
But it shows you what I've been saying for this gen. This gen is not really going to be about the graphics. It's going to be about the under the hood stuff. This is stuff the other systems can't do.
Really? I'm going to call bullshit on you because I remember someone here playing Infamous and calling it the next gen has started.
Not me, so.
Yeah, again, but that wasn't because
The next gen is starting now.
That wasn't because of the graphics, though. It was all the little under the hood things. I'm like, okay, it's starting here, isn't it? But this game, it's really like, okay, you don't see it. You just have to experience it. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, Infamous was, like I said, this is the first taste of it. It's not there yet. We're still not really there yet. I want to see games like, yeah, we can't even do this on last gen, guys. The Division may be that game. We'll have to see about that.
But I agree. Where this feels like a next gen game. Like
it really does. Yeah.
Because it sounds like really complicated. It's like, this takes up so much memory. It's such a pain in the ass to do that, the hardware alone is allowing them to run this mechanic because there's things going on in the background. And what I love about the Nemesis system, even if you just kind of sit around and not do anything, say you just want to do just main story quests, the Orcs are still battling in the background. They're still vying for power. They are still making moves. They come up as almost like time-sensitive things. So when you do something else, these two Orcs have just dueled. Maybe, one's going to win, and one's going to get a lot more powerful. One's going to throw a feast. Like, when you die, one of my favorite things was when an orc killed you, you can get your revenge because he's throwing a feast celebrating that he just killed you.
That's awesome.
So you can go there and poison the grog and have them turn on each other, and it's been fantastic in that regard. And I'm just like, God damn it, this game is really surprising me, and just like I said, it was not what I expected, and it was a very pleasant surprise for this time of the year, especially towards the end of the year when we start having like our Game of the Year discussion, because to me, I was having a real hard time thinking, about strong Game of the Year candidates. Like, I would not give it to Infamous at all. Like, Infamous is not getting my consideration. I mean, if we have a gorgeous looking game category, yeah, Infamous is first one on that list. But as far as most fun, oh, good lord, Mordor.
Yeah, it's really surprising, and that's the thing. Do you think this game is so successful because people were just like, this is better than I thought? Or do you think anything like that is in play here?
I think I think because it's a Lord of the Rings game where everyone is some sort of there is some familiarity with the franchise that even Lord of the Rings fans have been waiting for a good Lord of the Rings game. So this game's already gotten some really positive press even in the preview stage and at other events. People are like, yeah, this is a game to kind of keep an eye out for. But yeah, in the back of everyone's mind was like, yeah, but it is a movie franchise. It is a movie licensed game. Like, this could still be a fucking flaming wreck. So people have been just kind of weary about it, and just like, oh, I'll be curious about it. People were expecting it's probably going to be a good game, but no one was expecting it to be a great game.
Yeah, exactly. They were not expecting that. And I want to bring that up, too, because I know you've read the books, too. I love all the nods, especially to the Silmarillion that are in this. Like, they have Celebrimbor, the guy who freaking made the rings. That's cool.
Well, this is based off the movies and the Silmarillion books, since they they're not allowed to use, the licensing is very weird, the language is very weird, that they're not allowed to use anything from the actual books proper. They're allowed to use stuff from the movie. So if anything got mentioned in the movies, they were allowed to
Gotcha.
put in the games.
That's
Yeah.
what I was gonna ask, was whether this was like whether this was like based more on the books or the movies. But I know visually it resembles the movies very much.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if they were like adding in stuff for. I know they mentioned like some Silmarillion stuff, so I'm assuming that they're adding in a little bit of extra.
Yeah, but then again, I mean, the movies, especially the extended ones, they got deep into some of this stuff. So I'm guessing that's why they have. I didn't know about that. That's weird that they can't like just flat.
Yeah, the Tolkien estate is funny that way, but
yeah.
So it's like kind of in between Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, right? Like
yeah, it is.
like chronology wise. Okay,
Yeah.
and then I was gonna say, so Tony, that's actually what I was gonna ask you about, was like, how I know you're big on the book, so I was like, gonna see how you've been enjoying it so far, and like, referencing the movies and like on the lore and all that. So
yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge Lord of the Rings fan, so the fan servicey stuff really I don't really care. So say someone like you who's really into the lore and the fiction, do all the subtle fan service stuff. Like when you saw Gollum, did that tickle anything in your head? Like,
to me, it was the little things. It was the little things like, oh my God, they're actually showing the nice part of Mordor. Because in the movies, you just see that, the crazy fucked up version. But there is an actual nice part of Mordor where that's
people live.
Where people live and they get to grow crops for all this stuff. Like, and they also mention the outcast of Gondor, basically. They mention all that stuff. That's actually a big part of the story here. So yeah, I mean, they don't go too heavy on it because this is still like, if you don't know anything about Lord of the Rings, never even seen the movies, you jump into this and be fine. But for us, whoever's read the books, it's like, yeah, that's kind of neat. But even that stuff isn't that heavy, Like they still explain it within the context of the actual game itself.
Yeah, I'm liking the Celebrimbor War stuff more than I am the Talion story, because the Talion is just, you killed my family, I'm gonna kill all these assholes.
He's generic video game origin number 5003.
Yeah, he's kind of one note in that regards, but I love Celebrimbor, like, because you start, he has no memory, but if you have any vague interest in Lord of the Rings, you immediately know who that fucking guy is, and you're like, I'm like, that's the guy who made the Rings of Power. He's a ghost. What the fuck happened? And you start getting little fragments of his memory come back, and like that. But I think that those portions of the game is really cool and like really interesting. And I was like, it kind of made me want to read the books, but then also not, because I have a real issue reading those books. They're super boring, but.
Yeah, they're hard reads, man, because Tolkien, he loves to just expand. Like, I remember, I forgot which Lord of the Rings book, but it was literally an entire chapter on just the lay of the land. The grass looked like this, the trees looked like that, like all this stuff. I'm like, oh God. So yeah, none of that into this, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't sign up for this nonsense.
Even the side quests. Did you do the hunting stuff, by the way? I don't know if you got to.
The hunting, as in like with the dwarf guy, with the dwarf guy. Yeah, I just started one. Those seem pretty fun.
Yeah, like basically that was. I mean, it ties into the main story eventually, but I just like how let's just go off the beaten path. And I want to mention this during those parts specifically. Okay, how do I put this? Because we all know the last game I played was Destiny. That story was very self-important. I like that this had fun in it. It's like, this heavy shit's going, but there's still some levity to it. That was nice, and again, it was just nice to play a game with an actual story.
Well, yeah, I mean, we should probably have a separate podcast about like everything that's wrong with Destiny at this moment.
Yeah, but like, that's a whole other podcast. But yeah, I really
like when I told you when we went to that going away party, I was like, yeah, I got to 20, I tried it. I grinded for some gear, and like I don't just fucking care anymore. Like there's nothing pulling me back outside of that grind. And I was like, I'm so over this grind. So Shadow of Mordor was like such a relief from that fucking game. It was.
Yeah, it's like,
It is I think coming at a really good time. It's coming it's coming a couple weeks after the Destiny hype, and at this point, I guess you guys are examples of this, where the people that are kind of like, okay, I'm kind of done with Destiny. Like I've kind of gone through all the content. And but it's also coming before a lot of the big releases coming out, because the next couple weeks we've got like crazy amounts of stuff coming out. So
Alien Isolation comes out next week, man. Oh my God.
Yeah, so I think that's why I'm playing that game so hard right now, is just to get it off my plate, because I want to finish it. I want to brand as many orcs as fucking possible. I want to control all the orcs. It's just that's what I want in my life.
That would be awesome.
But yeah, you mentioned at the time, that timing is just perfect. Like I said, everyone's burnt out from Destiny and wants to play a good game now. So yeah, let's do Lord of the Rings.
Like I wasn't completely burnt out. Like I said, I'm having so much fun playing with my friends, but I needed an excuse to stop playing Destiny because the game has just taken over my life. So it was good. like Tony, stop that. And now I could actually get to other things. There's Comic-Con coming. I need to focus on that right now. So yeah, I'm playing through Shadow of Mordor. I'm not doing too much of the side stuff, but I do get distracted. It's like, wait, that guy killed me. I want my revenge on him. But now it's different. I'm like, I want to brand that asshole. I'm going to make him work for me.
Yeah,
it's fun,
the best part is branding someone and then grabbing them again to interrogate them, because it's like, I didn't humiliate you enough. All right, so Shadow Mortal, I think we can universally say great game.
Yes,
you
great
should
game.
Play it. Play it on a next-gen system or a PC. Do not get the last-gen because we don't really know what it's going to be like because features are not going to be in it. Might be in it, don't know. But just, yeah, I would avoid it. Just do next-gen or PC. So,
yes.
It's so good. Let's run through some reviews real quick. Sherlock Holmes, Crimes and Punishments. Thomas Salute got to check it out. He liked it. Apparently, it was I've never played a good Sherlock Holmes games before, and I saw this at previous events, and I was just like, I just kind of shrugged my shoulders at it, and it turns out, aside from some clunky controls, there's a very strong Sherlock Holmes game present in Crimes and Punishment. Those who can look past the issues will find an enjoyable deduction-based gameplay. But for others, the problems might outweigh the strengths. So, like you said, it's what I like about it is he dresses up, so Sherlock Holmes puts on different disguises to like talk to people, and it's very. I would put that closer to a Heavy Rain than I would say D4 was. And also D4 was a
Wait,
person, so.
Why does he have to dress up?
Because he has to investigate. He's Sherlock Holmes. He's sleuthing. He has to talk
But
to
he's supposed to be
unsavory characters.
the cat.
No. Classic Sherlock Holmes dresses up and puts disguises on, and he infiltrates like the underworld as like other characters. He needs to go talk to sailors. He'll dress up as sailors. Oh my God, Tony, you're deprived. Stop reading Lord of the Rings. And
I've read Lord of the Rings, never read it of Sherlock Holmes, so I have no idea. I just thought like, Moriarty, I will kill you. I don't know anything about Sherlock Holmes. I really don't.
We did our Smash Brothers. I don't even want to talk about that. Ryan said it's okay.
It's just okay.
Dance Central Spotlight. I reviewed it. I actually really liked it. It's super fun. I just want to say what my headline was for the review. Dance Central Spotlight, twerking on a budget, because the game is only $10. Comes with 10 songs, and then there are 50 other songs that you could buy for like $2 each, or you can buy in packages that are like $9 or $10. And it's basically it's a great platform that they should have used back when Rock Band came out. Just let me sell you this really cheap version of a game, and then just buy whatever songs you like because you're eventually going to spend $40 or $50 on it anyway. So
now, question, George, for this: does this support like previous Dance Central DLC, like songs you purchased or anything like that, or is it only for like Spotlight songs? Like
I think it's only for. I believe it's only for Spotlight songs. I didn't see any option to import a library. I mean, I may be wrong, and it may be something. Yeah,
I was just saying, like, I didn't know if that. I was saying that would be, as like you said, like as a platform, and kind of like what Rock Band ended up doing. With being able to import. So it would be great if you could do that, just because it's like because like, oh hey, for $10 I can get this new Dance Central game. I can already use songs that I've already had. So.
Or do like say like the karaoke channel, where it's like, hey, pay $20 and you can have all the songs for a day. So, because I mean, because let's be honest, you only really play dancing games when people are over. You have some people, you're having drinks, and you just want to look like assholes. It would be great if I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'll pay $30 if you give me all the songs for 24 hours, so we can just kind of rock out and jam. So yeah, I gave that one. I believe I give it an 8. Very fun game. They know how to use the Kinect because it's harmonics just kind of generalizes your moves instead of it being like super accurate. It's just like, hey, if this dancer needs to arm up, as long as he arms up, we'll count it. Most of it. So it's really generous in that way. And the coolest feature is that if you're stuck on a move at any moment, you can be like, hey, DJ, let's practice that. And it'll stop the song, and you can just practice that one move until you nail it, and then they'll throw you back in the song, and it'll be like, all right, 5, 6, 7, 8, go. So that's really good. Like I said, as a platform, that's gonna do well because they're releasing songs every week, and before you know it, by the end of the year, we'll probably have like 200 songs. Oh yes. Persona 4 Arena Ultimax.
Stuff.
I was a little apprehensive when people were just, it's a Persona fighting game. I'm like, why do we need a fighting game as Persona? Persona was great as an RPG. Let's leave it alone. Fabian fucking loved it. He gave it a 9. Let's see what his thoughts. All around, what can I say about this title? It's everything you need in a fighting game. Great fighting with some pretty deep mechanics. A great story mode with high quality character art and plot lines. Great writing with parts of the game that leave you scratching your head. Pretty good netcode that kept me from entering laggy matches. As a fighting game, Persona 4 Arena Ultimax does well for itself and deserves the title of Ultimax game in the franchise. So yeah, if you like 2D fighters and Persona and like anime, I'm sure she'll be fine. Fabian, I believe Fabian is like our resident anime guy, so if he says something anime related is good, I can't debate him on it unless it's DBZ or like a terrible anime that I know. Like, I only know like a couple of animes, like just front to back, where like I can be a definitive expert on it. So yeah, I kind of want to play that DBZ game.
Yeah, shout out to Fabian, by the way. When I went to a Namco event, it was him and Kevin there. I was playing the Naruto game. I'm like, this is terrible. Play this for me. So I can see how this plays. So I cannot stand anime games at all.
It's funny because there's some people who look at that and be like, oh, I'm no part of this, and then people are like, get the fuck out of my way! I cannot wait to play this. Like,
yeah, he was like, yeah, because he was behind me. He had next. I'm like, you want to just play it? I'll just base my thoughts on what you're playing because I don't know what the hell's going on. There's like so many things going on. I had no idea. Same thing with Dragon Ball Z. I can't stand any of those games.
Hyrule Warriors, I'm like, I have no interest to play it. I hear it's okay. I'm like, great. Who reviewed it? Kevin Sanchez reviewed it. He said that, honestly, if you're a Zelda fan, I wouldn't recommend you skipping out on this title due to the sheer amount of modes and content squeezed in. Okay.
I remember, Ryan, remember that Nintendo event we went to? Like, it was so hard when they asked me, what do you think of the game? It was nice. I'm like, fucking Dynasty Warriors, dude.
Sorry, all I remember was playing lots of Smash Brothers in that event. So that's all I.
By the way, that was another one. It's like, how did you like Smash Brothers? It was good. I can't stand Smash Brothers.
Yeah, I'm just.
Wait, Tony. No, I'm sorry. I have to leave this podcast. You said that. I have to leave.
I just realized that I shitted on every single game we've mentioned except for Shadow of Mordor. I don't like that game either.
A game you possibly would not shit on, Forza Horizon 2.
Forza.
On the Xbox One, Giuseppe gave it a 8.5. Apparently, he really loved it. He said,
"He's a car nut. What do you expect?"
He says, "Perfection is not of this world, but fun is, and Forza Horizon 2 comes with that in spades. It also delivers a wealth of content, large open world, variety of activities to ensure racing enthusiasts will have a lot to enjoy for a long time." So yeah, Forza Horizon 2 on the Xbox One, and then it drove all the Drive Club and Project Cars people crazy because it's like, that's bullshit. How can this game be better than blah blah blah? I'm like, well, the other game's not out, so we have nothing compared to. So just chillax. It's good. If all the racing games that come out in the next couple of weeks are all great, then that's good.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah,
our editor need to settle down.
our editor-in-chief reviewed that game. He gave it like a 90 or something, like really high. He really liked it too, and he's not even into racing games like that, but he thought it was really good. The way he described it sounded like Burnout Paradise, which I actually liked. I know a lot of people didn't, like a big open world racing game. You jump in and out of online and stuff. That sounds cool, Yeah.
And he says the way the drivatars are implemented actually make a lot more sense than how they were in like Forza Motorsports 5, where most people's drivatars were, I'm just going to crash into stuff. And I'm like, this is ruining the race for everyone. So this makes a little bit more sense on, an open world, way where it's like, yeah, some people just don't like to drive on the road. That's kind of their deal. That's fine. It's an open world. We're not going to hold that against you. But yeah, drivatars. The cloud, Tony.
Yeah, the cloud. What is the cloud? No one knows what the cloud is. It's mysterious.
Yeah, didn't we spend like 20 minutes talking about the cloud when I was on your podcast? We were just trying to discover what the secret of the cloud is.
We didn't figure it out, man. We didn't figure it out.
And my review for D4 Dark Dreams Don't Die went up, and I really like that game. It is Swery 65 just going really hard with the weird, which I always appreciate because there seems something very honest and genuine about how weird that game is. It wasn't like he was trying to be weird. He was just like, oh, you mean people from Boston aren't like that? They just don't talk about clam chowder all day? And it's like, no, that's not what they do. No, why would you? It is super great. Let's see. D4 is a great frame for those who want something a little bit different and quirky to play. It's crammed with content and has a shockingly engaging tale to tell. It's a very rare that you find a game that is this self-aware about how ludicrous the situations you are in. Like I said, and within 5 minutes of the game, you are fighting a lady who thinks she's a cat.
There you go, man. I should say this game confused me when I heard it announced because it was like D4. I'm like, what happened to D3? If you guys remember old games, they had D and D2.
D2.
Yeah, D2 and then D3. I'm like, what's going on here? Then I saw this. I'm like, this game has nothing to do with the D franchise. I'm like, okay.
It just kind of took the name, which is, I'm like, all right, fine. You want to play that game? We'll play that game. But yeah, D4, really good game. I was really impressed by it, considering that the game just kind of was released without telling anyone. It was Thursday night. That Thursday night, we got a press release saying, hey, by the way, D4 comes out tomorrow. I'm like, a fucking Friday release? What's wrong with these people?
Yeah, it's weird,
It literally just Microsoft saying, oh, fuck, we forgot about this game. What do we do? Oh, just go. It's supposed to come out last week. Just send it out. And I think that's what happened, honestly. And apparently hasn't sold that many copies, because if you go by the leaderboards, there's only 10,000 people who've registered on the leaderboard. So that game I think that game's going to do a lot better now that word of mouth is like, hey, it works, because it's a game that actually plays better with Kinect than the controller.
Yeah.
It's very rare that happens. So, and also the commands they make, like, like one of the things your guy has a tequila habit, so when you're in your apartment, you can just take a shot of tequila by going up and then slamming that fucker down. And you're just up and down, and it's great. And you can dust
So
your
he's
room.
not an alcoholic. He's just a tequila addict. It's
Yeah,
specifically
and he has a
tequila.
sweet tooth because he chews gum and stuff, and that's how he fixes a leak on an airplane. He just puts his gum on it, and then you can dust your room, and it keeps track of like the dumbest stats, like how many calories you consume, because as you do stuff, your stamina goes down, and you have to eat. So it's like you ate 3,000 calories in this plate. I'm like, this game is so fucking weird, and I love it. And yeah, so if you have an Xbox One, definitely check out D4. I think that covers all the reviews. Let's briefly run through some new stuff, because you know what, we've been talking about Shadow of Mordor, and as we talk, and the longer we talk about, the more actually we want to play it and ditch you losers. So let's run through this real quick.
Hold on, before you get to the news, you forgot about the most important thing that was posted on DualShockers this week. You having, yourself in FIFA. That was the greatest thing ever.
Oh, yeah, that's right. New video feature that we're doing. It's called Joysticking with George, where I play video games and just for whatever reason. It's basically
It is not a porno, by the way. That name is a little
And
bit
you
of
can
a
also you can also check
alliteration
out
and titles are really catchy. All right.
George's moonlighting career as a soccer superstar in the world of soccer. So
All right.
Call
If we could just take a minute to talk about Joysticking with George, the newest feature on DualShockers.com, where I, George Jimenez, staff writer of DualShockers.com, just try out different games for you guys, and just take you on a journey for about 20 minutes to half hour into. This week was I brought you into the world of soccer, or in the rest of the world calls it football. And I took my own character career mode, and I just fucking decimated the DC United. I scored, what was it? I got the hat trick that game, I believe. Yeah, I scored 3 goals. It was a 5-0 defeat. Like, it was a trouncing. We fucking murdered them. And it was great. And it was a good way, because I wanted people to kind of see a game of FIFA run by this career mode, because I love those kind of cool, like, RPG-ish type career modes, like in like MLB The Show, where you can play as yourself and just only do your at-bats. So when you do the career mode, you just play your own character. So I decided to be a center and just be amazing. And my face is very in there because I did.
Yes.
EA has this thing that works in all their sports games where it's called the player face, where you go to their website and you take a front picture and a profile picture, you upload it, and then depending on what game it is, they make some tweaks and be like, all right, where does your nose begin? I'm like, obviously it's here, it's enormous, let's put it here. And then when your lips are, because what happens is in the game your character will emote, and then like he frowns, he yells, and it's great because FIFA has a lot of that. They call it emotion intelligence, where basically it's them reacting to how the game's going. So if you're playing really bad, a lot of the cuts, every time they cut to your player, he's kind of like, man, I'm doing really bad. Or you bump into other players and be like, rah, 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 and then the crowd's into it. So yeah, it's more for the immersion, where it's just like, oh man, just add something to it. Like if you're really beating someone, the crowd's happy and you're happy and everyone loves you. But yeah, Joystick, I'm going to do Shadow of Mordor, where I take Mr. Gorum, Skull Collector, from the bottom to the top, Tony.
Nice.
You will see
That's
the
gonna be awesome.
rise of my favorite orc and yours after this video. So yeah, Joysticking with George, we're gonna do more of these. I'm gonna do a lot of little smaller games, also like 10 minutes of an indie game, that kind of stuff. Also for October, I think I'm just gonna do as many horror games as I can find. Don't even matter when they came out. I would definitely get an Alien Isolation in there, but I will do like other ones. Maybe if I can figure it out, I'll probably do some Silent Hill 2, some PT. I think PT probably another really good one. Outlast. Oh fuck! I do not want to play Outlast. Balls. But yeah, keep an eye out for that. But yeah, let's do news real quick since Tony made me talk about myself. And
Hey, man, you love talking about yourself. Come on.
Dragon Age got a couple of videos. It has a very in-depth character creator customator thing.
Give me the game.
Yeah, I was like, this is one moment where I wish the Kinect did something in that regard, where it's like, wouldn't it be great if I just put my face there and all of a sudden I'm in fucking Dragon Age. I don't have to like take all these sliders and make like a really ghoulish looking guy with a beard. But yeah, it's really in depth. Like I kind of want to make a Kunari because those look fucking awesome.
Yes.
Their horns are badass, and it's the same setup as like Origin. So you have a race, and then you kind of have their little backstory, and then what kind of class you want for them. And yeah, it looks really good. And then there was another video showing off the crafting system, which said you could just make gear, which is fucking A. I was like, all right. I cannot wait for that game to come out. I was bummed out that it got delayed, but also relieved, because it's like, you know what, if you need a couple of weeks to work out the kinks, just do that, because a bad game will always be bad, but if you want to delay it, just fine. if you need to delay to make it a great game, then do that. I will not be mad at you. BioWare still has enough of my trust that they can. I will believe him on that. But yeah, Dragon Age looks good. This is about 2K, 2K, NBA 2K15. Don't really care about that because that's.
That one has facial recognition thing, doesn't it? Like you can scan your face in or something.
Maybe, I don't know. If it is, I will. If it is, it'll be played. Just
Okay.
it'll be played. Kevin Smith will be in Lego Batman 3.
Yeah.
Beyond Gotham.
Wait, what happened, Ryan?
No, I was just saying, no, it'd be impressive to see George go from like soccer to basketball to like just going through all the sports, just in like a week,
Listen,
It'd be pretty
George
impressive, so.
Cobra Jimenez is a multi-sport demigod. All right, he just can't stop from being number one in every statistical category in every fucking game.
He's like the Michael Jordan of video game sports.
No, he's the Bo Jackson of video game sports.
Yeah, I was about to say because Michael Jordan is really good at basketball and he really sucks at baseball. So yeah, George is good at everything. He's amazing at everything.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I see. Okay.
You don't sound so convinced, Ryan. What are you a jerk for? This is awful. We need Tony to come back more often.
Yeah, this is my influence, people. This is what I do. I derail shit.
Yeah, Kevin Smith will be in Lego Batman. That seems kind of cool. He's a big Batman fan, and he'll probably be like a secret character or something. He looks kind of ridiculous, which is kind of great.
I think I did see a funny comment. It might have been Al that said that his Lego character needs to gain more weight to be more accurate, but it's still pretty cool that they put him in there. So I
was gonna say it's like is this just I was gonna say it's like is it like a really really fat like Lego piece or something?
No, it's like a youngish Kevin Smith.
It's a flattering Kevin Smith.
Yeah, it's very flattering.
It's Clerks era.
Yeah.
Clerks era. Hey, you know what, Ryan? I don't even think that. I think that is most of the news. I think actually.
Nothing happened, dude. Nothing happened.
Nothing really happened this week. There was more Assassin's Creed Unity footage that came out, which shows the character customization, where it's like, hey, you can put all this bunch of crap on your assassin. I'm like, about damn time. I'm still a little bit worried about that game. I mean, I was a big fan of 4 Black Flag. And Unity will not have pirate ships, so I may be more into Rogue that will have pirate ships and see how that works out. But it's also a last gen game, and I don't even touch that stuff. That stuff is gross.
Ew.
Maybe I'll get it on PC, and maybe it'll look better that way. But yeah, there was more Bloodborne footage that came out. Looks fucking amazing. Next year is going to be a good year for that.
It is. Bloodborne does look really great, and I went out and got Demon Souls for PS3 because I apparently want to punish myself.
Oh my
I really hate
God.
my life. It's like,
I think everyone deserves to play Demon Souls.
I have Demon Souls. I also have Dark Souls on 360 when it was on Games at Gold. Then I'll probably try and play through Dark Souls. Once I get through those, then I'll go through Dark Souls too. But I guess I really want to punish myself for the next couple weeks. So.
Demon Souls. Oh my God. Yeah, I played that game for about 6 hours, and it's like, why am I doing this to myself? I don't hate myself nearly enough to play this game. The way I see it, I paid my dues. I used to play these ridiculously hard games when I was a kid. I don't need to do that anymore. Not voluntarily. I'm done. Sorry. Not happening. No.
All right. And I guess the last big news is New York City Comic Con is next week.
We're all going to be there.
What are you guys looking forward to that show?
See, with Comic-Con, it's always like, hey, let's go and see what happens, because here's the thing. All the cool movie stuff isn't happening because that already happened at SDCC. This one is more about the TV shows.
TV and video game stuff gets pushed this way because of the holiday releases. So,
yeah, exactly.
Their Batman panel is always really good. So I'm kind of curious to see what their Arkham Knight panel is going to be like. We'll probably see some closer next-gen stuff coming out. Like, I'm fairly certain we will see maybe a Call of Duty will be there. I don't know. Activision didn't have a presence last year, but Nintendo will, so they'll probably have some Smash Brothers there, I'd hope.
Ryan's going to be there destroying everyone again.
Sir, you're going to have to move along. You can't just beat 9-year-olds as they like Zelda.
If they don't have Smash Brothers, I'll bring Smash Brothers. So it'll work. So, but I'm looking forward to Comic Con. This is my second Comic Con, so I'm really looking forward to going.
Yeah, this is like my 3rd or 4th, and they're always super fun. I always have more fun at Comic Con at like the after parties because they're always just weird costumed affairs, and it's just like.
Yes.
It gets weird, and we went to a couple of weird Comic-Con parties last year, Tony. So that was something. This was before you.
Goddammit.
Yeah, that was before you joined up. But yeah, I've got videos on my phone of a Spider-Man twerking and a Nick Fury dancing with a red lantern with my brother, and I'm just like, what is happening here? Yeah, Comic-Con, that's going to be weird. But yeah, keep an eye out for footage over that weekend because, yeah, there will be video games there. I mean, not...
Oh, yeah.
Last year didn't have that many games. This year there'll probably be a little bit more. Hopefully there'll be some booth space and hopefully a lot of Batman talk because that'll really be what kind of gets me going is anything Batman related.
Dude, oh my god. And then after playing Lord of the Rings, I'm like, I really want to play Batman now. Like, seriously, just give me Batman right now. This is awesome. But yeah, Comic-Con, I mean, obviously the main thing for me is I just want to hang out with all my friends and stuff because, you know, you only see people maybe once a year and stuff at Comic-Con. Hey, it's my Comic-Con buddy. What's up? That's gonna be fun. Hey, man, I'm being honest. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And then the after parties are going to be ridiculous as always. And I will try not to go to Artist Alley until the final day because what happens at Artist Alley is I blow all my money. It's all
that's a good move.
gone.
Yeah, that's a smart move. That's a very smart move. And you know what? I think that's it. Tony, what you been playing?
Oh wait, sorry, hold on.
What? Rewind.
One really quick plug before we start. It is Smash Brothers related, but it will be quick.
Yes.
So for those that happen to be in the New York City area or New York area or New Jersey area or somewhere near New York, there are going to be some upcoming events at Nintendo World over the weekend for the Smash Brothers launch. So tomorrow night there's going to be they're going to be selling the Super Smash Brothers for 3DS early. So if you can get there around like 8 o'clock. Actually, Alyssa James, our reviews editor, and I will be going. George, stop it. Alyssa James and I, or Alyssa, our reviews editor, and I will be there, just joining and hanging out at the launch party tomorrow night. So it'll start at around, I think, 8 o'clock. So if you can get to Nintendo World in New York City at 8 o'clock, then you can meet us, play some Smash Brothers. It'll be fun. And then also Saturday at Nintendo World, they're kicking off a tournament that's going to be a countrywide tournament, and then the finals will be on October 11th. So yeah, I won't be there on Saturday, but Alyssa will be there. So
we'll be sponsoring Ryan as his rise to the top.
Yes.
Competitive brackets of Smash Brothers happens.
Yeah.
Anyway, before I was rudely interrupted with Smash Brothers nonsense, Tony Polanco from the Coalition, what have you been playing?
Rewind like 50 minutes. That's what I've been playing. Shadow of Mordor. There's nothing else in my life right now, man.
Nothing else matters.
Nothing else matters. Just give me Shadow of Mordor. That's all I'm playing. Nothing else.
Have you stuck in some Destiny or no?
Nah, no time for that, man. No time for that. The thing is, I want to get the review out before Comic-Con because after Comic-Con, I'm not writing shit. So I want to get that review. I actually wrote a first impression just to get something out there, which was accompanied by a video I did. If you see the video, you see just how random this game is. Like, I'm trying to go after a captain, and then these, like, the big monsters, I forgot their name.
I'm
trying to kill this guy. What are you doing? And then they start eating. I'm like, okay, you know what? Go ahead. You eat that.
I had that happen too, and I was just like, oh, I'm so fucked, and I'm being surrounded. And I thought they were on the same team because I don't know, Orcs and Monsters, but apparently they're not. They all started killing each other, so I just kind of like, oh yes, they've all my master plan.
But yeah, that's all I've been playing. So yeah, I want to get that out of the way for the review, and then I'm expecting to get Alien Isolation for a review. So that's the next thing I'm going to be playing. Really looking forward to that. I really was impressed with what I saw at E3 or played at E3. In a room with 20 people, I was scared shitless.
Yeah,
man.
I mean that's another game that's going to have a kind of a new mechanic where it's just like there's this persistent thing chasing you. So that's going to be another game where like, hey, now your experiences may vary, but also that could also mean the AI is going to be super fucked and not know what to do, and it's basically the most boring game ever because the alien is stuck behind a wall. So I'm kind of curious to see how that's going to work out because I mean it looks great, but yeah, I mean if Shadow of Mordor has taught us anything, it's just like let's keep an open mind when it comes to weird games because I feel like I'm coming off a good weird game high from like D4, and then I'm like, all right, I'll do some fucking Dance Central. Oh man, this game works too. Like this is so weird. But yeah, Ryan, what have you been doing? What have you been doing?
What do you think I've been doing, George? So yes, I have been playing a lot of Smash Brothers, and this is where George leaves the podcast. So yeah, I've been playing a lot of Smash Brothers, but other than Smash Brothers, because I talked enough about that. But let me just say Smash Brothers one more time, just to get George really mad. So it was anyway.
Who cares? Smash Brothers, the game means nothing to me.
So aside from that, I got a couple. I had some used game coupons and stuff like that. So I bought South Park: Stick of Truth for 360 and started that up, and I've been really enjoying that so far. It's been a lot of fun. Like aside from just like it has like some kind of goofy RPG mechanics, but I like the humor a lot too. Like it is really funny when Cartman just calls me a douchebag all the time in the game. That's great. Even though I did not play as the Juke class, unfortunately, I'm a thief in the game because I want to try something different. So.
I was going to make a really racist joke, but I'm not going to do it. Go ahead.
That's been pretty much it for me. So.
I've also been playing Shadow of Mordor. I just got my review copy of Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition for the Xbox One. So I actually was a big Sleeping Dogs fan, so I kind of
nice.
I'm looking forward to sinking my teeth into that one.
Yeah, I have
covered in orc blood, but yeah.
I have the original sitting on my Xbox. I haven't gotten into it yet, but it looks really fun. So
it's a great open world game in the vein that's like, Saints Row was a really good complement to like a GTA, where it's just like it's just kind of out there, and I was like, oh, this game kind of works, and it's got like that's another game that had Batman style combat, so. Give me more Batman style combat. I'm totally okay with that. I am absolutely down with that. And it was an already gorgeous game anyway, so I got it on the PC. So I'm kind of curious to see what the next gen bump is going to be like with the high res textures. And that'll be it, ladies and gentlemen. But before we go, has become new tradition on the George Regime podcast that officially has sold out. I want to talk to you, Tony. You're back. You don't know this. Are you in the market for really cool video game T-shirts?
Oh God, I guess I am.
Yes, you are.
I do.
We were out the other night, and you were asking me. He goes, "Hey George, where can I get an amazing Joel smuggling service from The Last of Us?" And I said, "Look no further, Tony. Duh. Our DualShockers T Republic store, straight from our website, DualShockers.com, where you can pick up an awesome Joel smuggling service shirt for like $20, including plus shipping, or the Hunger Game featuring Mr. Pac-Man. See that? That's pretty cute. Or a Yoshi eating a... What Pokemon is this? Is this Togepi?
No, it's size and fit info.
Oh, you dope. This one. That's Togepi, right? What is that guy's name?
I don't play Pokemon.
That's Togepi. Yeah, you're right.
It's a Pokemon. It's a Pokemon, and then the Yoshi's eating them, then crapping out an egg. That's kind of adorable. You can get them and look at the colors, Tony. Look at that. I know you're a big off-white guy. Look, they've got off-white. How crazy is that? And a variety of sizes. I know you've been losing weight, so Tony, you might just be a medium now. Look, they've got mediums. How crazy is that?
Can I say something about this place, by the way? Because I ordered my DualShockers shirt, and not only did they send me the wrong shirt, they sent the wrong size. So if you order from these guys, just be wary. That's all I'm saying. Just got to be real.
That's not how a commercial is supposed to work.
Sorry. I'm not
I appreciate the honesty and the candor, but no, you don't see anyone in the commercial drinking a Coke and be like, ah.
Have you never listened to the Howard Stern show? It's like, what is this? I guess it's good. Whatever.
Tony's drinking Coke, and for a great time, drink Pepsi. It's like
or Coke.
That would be me, by the way, because Coke sucks. Give me Pepsi, please.
So you clearly don't know what commercial is, then.
Yeah, but you're doing it commercial. I'm just a guest. I'm saying whatever I want, and these guys fucked up my order. Just saying.
That's fine. I'm pretty sure it was human error on your part, because when I ordered my awesome blue shell shirt, it came in promptly in the right size and the right color. And also, if you buy any shirts from us, especially if you're going to Comic-Con, maybe good to stock them some like cool nerdy shit. And anything you buy helps us out as a website. It gets me chalk. I can afford chalk to draw on my chalkboard. And don't forget, Gorum the Skull Collector for War Chief. And that'll be the end of our show, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank Mr. Tony Polanco from the Coalition. Thank you for coming back and showing the world out that you're not a villain. You're just a man like everyone else who just wants love and attention and hugs and beer. You are a human. You are a man with emotions. And thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And George, this is how you know I love you, man. I stopped playing Shadow Mordor just for you. I could have said, fuck that guy. I'm not doing it. I'm playing Shadow Mordor. Nope, I came on just for you, man. So thank you for having me on. Fucking blast.
Anytime. And as always, my loyal manservant sidekick.
You took him from me. He was my manservant.
Mr. Ryan Meisler. If you see any cool videos on the site, that's because he edits and does all that cool video nonsense that I'm just too dumb to work out.
Hey, look, Tony, George, I've got there's more than enough love here to go around for both of you. Just FYI. So.
All right, good. Yeah, because remember E3, man. Me and you were bunk buddies, man. I remember those nights.
Yeah, and that's a different show. And that'd be it. I was your host, George Jimenez from DualShockers. Make sure to check out the site, buy a t-shirt, read our reviews, do all that cool stuff. Watch Joysticking with George. There'll be another cool episode coming up soon. Because I like talking into the void. It's great. Cause I'm just really just talking to myself. It's kind of sad when you think about it and depressing. And we're gonna end on that note. So goodbye, peace, love, and soul.
Later, people.
Bye.